other NFL fans that you
Bills Mafia.
Yeah, Bills Mafia.
Bills fans. That's a mafia.
Oh, my bad.
That's
my
a
bad.
mafia.
That's a mafia.
Don't mess with the Bills fans.
My bad, man. I apologize, man. Y'all should have won that playoff game. You know, it is what it is.
Way back there.
Sorry. I'm sorry. CouchPotatoGM.com is the website. Couch Potato General Manager is the YouTube channel. You know that because you're on it. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We want you to comment. We want you to like. We want you to subscribe, man. We want to debate your team. We can talk about your team. We can talk about a player that you like. We want to talk to you, man. A lot of draft pundits, nicks, as they call them, draft nicks, and analysts and guys don't want to talk to you, man. They want to throw their spiel out there and then they just want to walk away from it, man. We want to discuss, we want to debate, man. Whether we agree or disagree, maybe you'll help me turn the corner on a particular player or a team or, you know, whatever, man. But that's what we want to do here, man. We want to be interactive with you guys. So, you know, hit that subscribe button and spread the word, man.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
#1 pick, man. Trade up. They gave 2 second-round picks to move from 12 to 7 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I think you got to even go back further.
Okay, let's go.
You got to go back even further to get to Josh Allen.
So they traded Tre'Davious White. You talking about?
No, Tre'Davious White.
Oh, my bad. They traded for.
No. That's right.
They traded back from 10 to 27 with the Kansas City Chiefs. That was the Mahomes pick. They got Tre'Davious White at 27, which was one of the best players in the entire draft so far. And they acquired another first-round pick. So now they come into the season with the Chiefs' first-round pick and their own first-round pick. They even moved up with the Cordy Glenn trade with the Cincinnati Bengals to move up even closer to number 12. And they set themselves up where we knew before the draft that they're going to trade up again to get a quarterback. We didn't know if it was a Baker Mayfield, a Josh Allen, a Sam Darnold, Josh. We didn't know which quarterback it was, but we knew that they were going to trade up for or Lamar Jackson. You know, he's a forgotten guy out of the bunch sometimes, but you know they traded up. And they got Josh Allen.
Well, before you go there, the word on the street is that they actually had a deal in place with the Broncos for the number 5 pick.
But then the Bradley Chubb thing happened.
No. Bradley Chubb thing didn't happen. The Cleveland Brown thing happened. Denzel Ward, which allowed Chubb to fall. And thus, you know, it blew up the deal for the Bills. So they had to reset. And they traded with Tampa Bay, giving up 2 second-round picks. And thank you very much. And they got Josh Allen, man.
So when we think about this
guy, but it wouldn't have changed anything.
Do we know Allen was their guy?
He was the only guy left.
It was Rosen, Lamar, and Allen that remained. So
they got the guy that
the guy that they covered it.
Yeah, they got the Allen. So what do we think about this Josh Allen, man? I know it's been all over the place with Josh Allen. Some people think he might be the best quarterback. Some people might think he's the number 5 quarterback, man. What do we at CPGM think, man?
I mean, we got an issue with his accuracy, with his, you know, I know people have fallen in love with, you know, his size, the measurables, and from a physical standpoint, he's probably the best quarterback to go to Buffalo to play in those conditions. But
the big arm,
exactly. But from a who he's throwing the football to, from a from a purely quarterback, what you need to play the position, I don't think he's ready, and I think that he needs to sit. Is that going to happen? Probably not, because they traded up to get him. That's their guy. I know there's an A.J. McCarron behind him, but, you know, and I think he's back in this kind of the same place that he was at Wyoming, where who the hell is he throwing the football to?
Yeah,
you didn't do him any favors.
That's one of the biggest thing. Like supporters of Josh Allen, they always run to the, you know, he didn't play with talent. You know, his receivers didn't come down with plays. You know, so
a little bit of a misnomer though. The statistics bear out with the drop rate. Actually, the highest drop rate, if I'm not mistaken, belonged to, in terms of supporting cast, belonged to Louisville and Lamar Jackson. So that's a bit of a misnomer. But yes, athlete for athlete, Wyoming did not have great athletes around Josh Allen recently.
Yeah, so he's going to Buffalo. You know, we call it what, the Siberia
for receivers.
For receivers, Zay Jones, we see his debacle. Kevin Benjamin, he really can't get open out there.
Robert Woods, we thought was on his way out, but had a huge season this past year for the Rams.
No more Sammy Watkins
there.
So he really doesn't have the receivers. I think out of all quarterbacks, he's probably in the worst situation initially. Because he doesn't, it's two reasons. He doesn't have that veteran quarterback like a Josh McCown in New York, a Sam Bradford here, even Tyrod Taylor in Cleveland. Yeah. You know, he's going to play with A.J. McCarron, who's really never started in his NFL career.
Very limited.
And he has no receivers. Number two, he has no receivers to really, you know, what you call it? It's like the Chicago Bears thing all over again?
Yeah, Mr. Trubisky thing where guys can't get separation, guys can't get open, so, you know, it makes him look worse off than he actually is. You don't know it till you look at the all 22.
So if you were the head coach, are you putting him out there right away?
Not a chance.
Not a chance, right?
Even if I had a better supporting cast, I'm not sure that I would hand him the keys immediately. He would have to thoroughly outplay A.J. McCarron, which he may be capable of. But he would have to show me. It's not just because I traded up for him. I used significant draft capital to get him. I think this year, given the circumstances, the lack of weapons, we're not sure what the offense is ultimately going to look like. Shady getting a little bit longer in the tooth. I think you want to keep him in bubble wrap as long as possible. I don't think, because we've talked about it, when you throw a young guy out there who may have some warts and some chinks in the armor and put him in a poor situation, it could be detrimental to his development. It could do too much damage, irreparable damage. So I worry about, because Josh Allen has that same boomer bust kind of. Yep. Regardless of the situation, he still has a certain level of boomer bust quality to him. So if Buffalo can stave off, or if they're able to just turn around and hand the ball off, those are the circumstances that I'd be comfortable with Josh Allen in the game. If he can turn around and hand the ball off like they did a couple years ago with Shady, Mike Gillislee, then okay. But this year, all things considered, the longer he can stay on the bench, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
I can't disagree.
And next two picks, I love these next two picks for the Buffalo Bills. Tremaine Edmonds, they traded up for him also at number 16. And then Harrison Phillips in the third round, right? I think these guys are, you could tell, Buffalo Bills clearly had a plan going into this draft. They got big physical players. Even Josh Allen's a big physical guy. It's that blue collar nature, you know, the mantra that they're in Buffalo in the freezing cold and they're going to be tough. And I think Tremaine Edmonds and Harrison Phillips fits the bill. I think they improve an already improving defense. I really like Buffalo's defense. If they want to win games, they need to rely on their defense and you know, run the football. But Tremaine Edmonds in the linebacker, that's a definite need. And then Harrison Phillips, man, I call him the big nasty, man. Like, every team needs a Harrison Phillips on their roster. He does the dirty work, man. Actually, Harrison Phillips liked my tweet that I tweeted that every team needs a Harrison Phillips. And I truly believe that, man. It's a nasty player, man.
You know something?
Yeah.
It's a glue guy.
It's a glue guy?
It's a glue guy.
I got some words for him. Let's talk about Tremaine Edmonds real quick. And, you know, obviously they needed a middle linebacker. They got their guy. And I think his greatest quality right now, his greatest attribute, his greatest ability, his greatest, I don't know if you want to call it a skill set, right now is the fact that he's 19. And because he is so raw, and I mean, this dude is a monster, a damn phenom, right?
He's a creative player.
He's another creative player, except the only issue is that he's very raw. You know, he's still learning the position. At 19, you can imagine what's going through his mind. Imagine him 3 years from now. What kind of player will he be? Maybe one of the best linebackers in the league. So I think his age is his best attribute right now. And to be under Sean McDermott in that defense,
you know. We know what McDermott did in Carolina,
yes,
right?
with the linebackers there. So you can only imagine sky's the limit for this guy.
No, upside is huge with this guy. I mean, it's ridiculous when you talk about a guy that big, that fast, that with those kind of athletic gifts, physical, at the age of 19.
Crazy.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Obviously, there's a great story of his brother also being selected in the first round. It's another story for another day about what we think about that pick. But I like where he got selected. It wasn't top 10 because he wasn't Roquan Smith. He doesn't have that polish. He doesn't have those natural instincts. But he has enough ability and awareness and savvy at this juncture that, to me, you know, it certainly justified a first-round selection. Not a top 10 guy. He's not Luke Kuechly. He's not polished like that. No. But certainly the potential is tremendous, and the floor isn't quite as low as you would anticipate for a guy that's 19 years old or a raw prospect. I think as far as what I saw, I'm encouraged. I think he made plays in the passing game behind the line of scrimmage as a blitzer, stacking and fending off. He has to work on diagnosis, and I think that will come with experience. That's what he's lacking right now, is experience.
And you know, at the end of the day, all these draft picks, all of them, whether how good they are, how bad they are, at the end of the day, sometimes it's about where you go.
Sure.
At the end of the day, who's coaching you?
It's a good place. He's in a good spot.
He is in a good place.
He's in a good spot.
As for Harrison Phillips, man, listen, to me, I know you call him Big Nasty, but to me, his greatest thing for me is he's where he always needs to be. That's a New England Belichick type of player, man. He's that annoying gnat, bro. Like, why does he have to be there? Like, we just need a decrease to get through, and he's there. Like, that's who this guy is.
And think about, they got a guy named Kyle Williams.
Yeah, who's probably last year, right?
Yeah, you know, a guy that he can learn behind. Yes. Man, they are the same player. They pretty much do the same nasty stuff. So
Buffalo really struggled to stop the run, and we talked about it previously, being solid up the middle.
They traded.
They bring in Star Lotulelei.
Yeah, yep.
They moved Darius out, but they bring in Star Lotulelei. We know what he can do, what he brings to the table. You add Harrison Phillips to that, and then you got Tremaine Edmonds on the second level. So they should be much improved against the run in 2018.
All right, they drafted Tyrod Johnson from Weber State, cornerback. You know, and they went back to back with the secondary, and then they went and got Saron Neal from Jacksonville State.
Tell us about him.
That's your guy, right?
No, we'll get to him. Tyrod Johnson, to me, he's the same size as Tre'Davious White. I described him as he might look to be a lesser Tre'Davious White, and by that I mean he can play zone coverage. He can turn and run with the football. He's very fluid in his hips. He played at Weber State, and I don't know if he can play press coverage, much like Tre'Davious White. I don't know. I didn't see it, so I don't know.
White showed that he can, though.
White did. Yes. White did. So hopefully we can see that in Tyrod Johnson, but at the same time, he doesn't necessarily have to do that in this defense. He can sit back in the zone and react to the football. Saron Neal, man, this is my guy. This is my favoritist player, man. I know, you know, favoritist, man. That's how we talk around here. Favoritist. Is that a word? It's not a word. No? Oh.
I'll allow it.
Most favorite? That's how you do it. Most favorite players, Saron Neal, man, from Jacksonville State. There's very little tape on him, but the little tape that I saw, I loved him, man. This guy played cornerback.
All over the place.
Safety.
Yeah.
Nickel. Linebacker. Coming off the edge as a blitzer.
Football player.
He's a football player. He finds the football, man, and he's probably not going to start right away because, you know, you have a lot of guys over there.
Yeah.
This is another embarrassment of riches, not to the quality of the Chargers, but something close. What you call him off there, Micah Hyde type?
Yeah.
You know, a guy who can kind of do a little bit of everything, man. So this guy, he gonna show up on your special teams, man. You're gonna know his name because of special teams. I promise you that. You know, and if somebody get hurt in the secondary, this is a guy who you can plug and play and run with it. In the 5th round, man, they got Wyatt Teller, man. This is a guy who, if he gets his hands on you, it's over, man. He's a guard from Virginia Tech. I'm sure you guys know that as your Bills Mafia. You know, if he gets his hands on you, it's over, man. You know, I don't think he's necessarily a guy who needs to start right away. I don't think you guys need a guard right away. But it's a good.
I did lose incognito. So.
Yeah. And Ryan Groy and John Miller, those two interior, their contracts are up next year, so they're definitely going to need Taylor for 2019.
When we did our interactive mock draft, I actually had the Bills, and I actually took Teller. I took him, I think my last pick in the 3rd round. He is blue collar. You know, grinder type of guy, a glue guy. Yeah, I keep on using that term.
But we said about the Bills, they had a plan.
That's the plan.
They got all the players that they drafted are the same
type of
caliber of blue collar,
lunch pail. Yep.
So like, you can't hate on this draft.
No,
man.
not at all.
In the 6th and the 7th round, they got back-to-back receivers and a Ray McLeod from Clemson and a Austin Parole.
Mr. Irrelevant? That's not Mr. Irrelevant.
No.
I jumped
No. Every time I see Austin Parole, I think about Ricky Parole catching that touchdown. I'm hurt, man. Parole. What was I saying?
Parole.
What was I saying?
No, his name is Parole. You're saying Parole.
Oh. Austin Parole?
Yeah.
Parole.
No.
I like Parole. Austin Parole, he's a polished route runner, man. He's nasty with at the stem of his routes. You know,
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
So we talk about another UNC receiver who gets drafted. All that talent Mitchell Trubisky had.
Yeah.
They put a lot of talent around him in Chicago. He better make it work. I know this is not a Bears thing, but he better make it work. Okay. All right. Please continue.
I can't wait till we get to that. Yeah, Osprey, he's excellent with his routes, man. I don't think he's overly fast or, he can break tackles or anything like that. So that's probably why he went in the 7th round. I think he also got injured last year at some point or the year before.
Mac Hollins, Bug Howard, TJ Mason.
But what are those guys doing right now, though?
Well, they're all on NFL rosters, though.
But what are they doing right now?
They're all on NFL rosters.
What are they doing right now, though? You talking like these guys?
What is Trubisky doing right now?
I mean, he's waiting for guys to get open.
Ray McLeod, I think he's the more interesting prospect.
Absolutely,
I
agree.
Absolutely.
Dynamic guy, and he kind of got, I don't want to say buried, but I mean, Clemson, they just continue to
a lot of mouths.
I'm not the wide receiver you over there, man.
Hey, it might be. You might coin that. Want to take that? Trademark that?
I'm not trademarking that for Clemson, man.
Oh.
The hate's real. I like Clemson.
Yeah, no, he's a dynamic guy. Just get him the football, man, and he'll make things happen.
What year is Etienne?
This is going to be the
sophomore year.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
He was a freshman last year.
But I want you guys to keep an eye on Siran Neal, my most favorite player. And I think the Bills did a good job, man. I mean, they had to get their quarterback. Josh Allen's the guy they wanted. I can't hate on the pick. When you go and get your guy, I can't hate on you, man. Unless they completely and utterly reached, he matches what they need there.
He's
in
a
terms of
quarterback.
profile.
He's a quarterback. The teams reach for quarterbacks every year. I could make a case for every quarterback, including the one that went #1 overall, being a reach. Considering the players on the board, that could be a reach as well. Guy coming from a spread system that relied heavily on RPOs. It could all be considered a reach. Allen, to me, another guy that I think presents that same boom or bust type of potential. I think Allen falls in that category. And like we said, as of right now, there isn't a whole lot to work with. No. There really isn't a whole lot to work with, unless Zay Jones becomes the player that we expected him to be, going into last season, his rookie year.
Kevin Benson lose about 20 pounds. Yeah. You got to lose some weight.
I lose some weight.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
That's kind of hard when you're out there in the cold and you're in the house.
He might need the extra. It gets cold up there. But I'm with you. I'm generally speaking, you don't come down on a team, GM, evaluators for identifying a guy, particularly at the quarterback position, and going to get him. A lot will come down to, depending on how Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes acquit themselves, Sean Watson for that matter as well. You passed up on those guys. Can't knock Tre'Davious White. Can't knock that.
Yeah.
But
Sean Watson.
You had your shot at Deshaun Watson. More so than Mahomes, as far as I'm concerned. You had your shot at Deshaun Watson, and you passed him up. So we'll see. We'll ultimately see how it works out. Anything you disagree with, let us know. Anything you like, let us know. Be in the comment section. You're going to be in the comment section. We're going to be in the comment section. We don't do this 2, 3, 4 day stuff where we don't comment back to you guys. Like, we see it, we comment back, man. We debate, we discuss, man. That's what we want to do here. We want to interact with you guys, and we want you to bring in other Bills Mafia, man. Right now, I think Cowboy Nation leading it right now. So, hey, Bills Mafia, y'all the Mafia, right? Y'all the Mafia? Hey, man, stop
listen, I want to. Who the Godfather? Who's second in command? Let's get the whole Mafia on CPGM General Manager YouTube channel, man. Let them guys know, man. Let them guys and girls. Sorry, guys and girls. Man, we out here, man.